All right, some of you saw that I was on CNN Newsnight last night. Now I'm going to play a clip. I'm going to be upfront. I don't like doing this stuff, and I don't think I'm particularly good at it. So I got a few emails of support. I got a few emails from people saying, David, why didn't you talk more? Why didn't you this? Why didn't you that? So I'm just going to tell you, like in panel environments where participation requires interrupting people, talking louder than other people, and simply not giving up until they let you speak, I'm just not good at that. Now, I'm going to come to you in a moment and ask you, should I get better at it, or is it just not the right venue for me? But here was the setup. I was on CNN Newsnight, hosted by Abby Phillip. This is the 10 p.m. Eastern show on CNN. I was in this panel with Batya Ungar-Sargon, a Republican strategist named Brad Todd, I believe was his last name. Anna Navarro was there, and then they cycled in some other folks during other segments. Here is just one funny moment where I crowbarred in that Trump fell asleep 4 times. But this is really the latest panicked scapegoating because Trump is in real trouble in a lot of areas. He fell asleep 4 times during this meeting, by the way, which is raising even more questions about the energy level.
Having your ass kissed for hours could be a little boring.
All right, so listen, I didn't come out of this thinking, man, that was awesome. That was really great. Now, there are a lot of dynamics at play, but I take responsibility. Like, listen, the way these shows work is up until the last second, they're switching topics, they're changing who's on the show and blah, 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 blah. That makes it harder to prepare, but I don't blame that for the fact that I didn't really say that much. I am just not good in scenarios where they don't go to you. You have to say, blah, 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 blah. Listen to me. It's just not my nature. You all know that. I much prefer being interviewed by a host or being with the host and one other person where it's clearly some kind of a conversation, whether it's a debate or analysis or whatever, where it is a conversation. This is a show where you basically just have to be the loudest and the brashest. And you all know that that's just not the way I do it. When I do adversarial interviews or non-adversarial interviews or whatever, I think about these as conversations. When I run panels myself, I make sure I go, oh, that's interesting, panelist number 1. Panelist 2, what do you think about that? And what about this other thing that panelist 3 said? So there's like a couple possibilities here, right? I could say, I'm going to do this stuff all the time. And I could accept a lot more of these opportunities. I tend not to because of either scheduling conflicts or I just don't want to do it. I could say, I am going to get better at interrupting and speaking more loudly, and I'm just going to keep doing it. And like with anything, I assume with practice, you get better at it. Or, and I want to hear from people in the audience, is this just not really my venue? Is the way that I think about politics and the way that I try to inject nuance and really think things through, is it just not suited to that style of show? I don't have the answer. I'm kind of willing to go either way. But certainly, it was not an environment in which we could speak extensively about, like I was thinking back, there's one point where Batya Ungar-Sargon goes, this president has brought in $20 trillion or something like that. And of course, if it were my show, I would go, hold on a second, what do you mean he's brought in 20 trillion? Are you talking about the fact that when he went to the Middle East, leaders of Middle Eastern nations said, under the right circumstances over the next decade, we might be willing to invest X in your country, but they haven't actually invested anything yet? Is that what you mean by the 20 trillion that came in? But when she said that and everybody jumps in, I couldn't find an opportunity to sort of squeeze that in, and then do I go back to it later? So needless to say, the only person to blame for my performance on that show is me. And I want to hear from you. Should I insist on doing this stuff and sort of join this whole like yelling the loudest to get attention thing? Or should I leave it to other people and find other venues to appear on? As an example, by the way, Batya Ungar-Sargon said, hey, you should be on my podcast where it would just be she and I, which to me seems actually like a much better venue for actually having an in-depth conversation. So anyway, I want to hear from you. I did it. I don't think it went particularly well. I don't think I'm being unfairly hard on myself. I think I'm being accurately hard on myself. But I want to hear from you. Leave a comment. Let me know whether I should do more of this stuff or whether it's just not my bag, baby. Let me know. We've got a phenomenal bonus show for you today. We will talk about the Costco lawsuit. We will talk about Indiana Republicans and their congressional map proposal. We'll talk about the OpenAI Code Red announced as Gemini is blowing up the AI world. All of those stories and more on the bonus show. You can sign up at joinpakman.com. You can also become a Substack premium subscriber at substack.davidpakman.com. I'll see you then. If you are scrambling for a meaningful last-minute holiday gift and running out of real ideas, Aura Frames can save you. Our sponsor, Aura, makes high-quality digital photo frames that showcase your favorite pictures and videos in a way that looks like a real print. I've given these to so many different people. I gave one to my dad, preloaded with family photos. He still walks by it and comments on pictures he hasn't seen in years. It's a gift that lands, and Aura makes it really easy. You can preload the pictures before it even ships. You can add a personal message, and then you can keep adding photos and videos all year long. It's free. It's unlimited. The setup takes just a few minutes, and every frame arrives in a premium gift box. There is still plenty of time to get an Aura frame shipped before Christmas, and you'll get $35 off their best-selling Carver mat frames when you go to auraframes.com and use the code PAKMAN at checkout. The link is in the description.